Hi, I'm Andy Parr, and you're watching the Gadget Guru. Now, I know I told you that on the previous episode that my next stop, when I was going to be going out of town to go visit a major manufacturer, to take a factory tour, and to take a custom 2-day boot camp driving lesson, well, things changed. That's still happening, but due to some friends, an introduction brought me right here to Liberty Coach in Stuart, Florida. And in a moment, we're going to step inside one of these models. You're just going to see a bit of it. This isn't a tour, but we're going to talk to one of their sales consultants. And that starts right now, right here on the Gadget Guru. Okay, as you can see, I got out of the heat. I came inside, and here with me is Dave Wishnoff. He's a sales consultant for Liberty Coaches. Now, Dave, first, what are we sitting in? Let's talk about that.
Well, this coach is a 2012 Liberty Elegant Lady H345 triple slide.
Okay, and I gotta tell you, this thing is gorgeous. He's taken some time and walked me through a few coaches. And you know, I know that lots of times, I think you were telling me that a vast majority of your business is done online. Well, if you're ever seriously considering a coach of this caliber, don't rely on the pictures, because while they're gorgeous, and they're great photography, they don't do it justice.
Yeah.
And one thing we were talking about, I was under the impression that I wanted at least the living and galleries to have a dual slot to give room in the living area, because it just seemed to be cramped. It's not the case in this coach.
No.
And is it due to the layout, or what are you doing differently?
It's due to knowledge of building a coach that makes it the most useful floor plan it can be in the amount of space that you have. The owners of this company have been building these coaches for over 45 years, so they've somewhat got it figured out. You know, there's no one else that's been in the business that long. So what it comes down to is a computer. And it's a CAD computer that figures every inch of this space to get the maximum space allowed.
Now, we're here at your facility in Stuart, Florida.
Correct.
But these aren't built here.
No, sir. North Chicago, Illinois.
So if somebody wanted to build one from scratch, they could come to your office here?
Yes, they come here, and then we arrange a time to go up and design your coach.
So basically you do service.
Service and sales.
Now, this is the time of year a lot of the snowbirds are leaving Florida. Do you
Correct.
get busier this time of year?
No, not really. Our season's somewhat winding down. So now we're starting to travel a lot. We're going to various campgrounds all over the Southeast, having weekends with shows, showcasing our coaches.
Okay, let's talk about ownership, whether it's new or pre-owned. Because you know, in a minute we're going to get into that. I filled him in on what we're doing, what you saw in the first video. If you didn't see that video, click right here and you'll see what we're talking about. That way you don't have to waste a lot of your time going into it. But, okay, so let's say somebody buys one from you. Let's say it's me. What level of service do you do here? Or let's say I need work. Do I have to go to Illinois? Let's say I buy a pre-owned. What do I do with you?
Well, here we can do, excuse me, anything to this coach except rebuild cabinetry. Mm-hmm. That has to be done in Chicago because we don't have the different tools and equipment required to rebuild something. Sometimes we can have it built and have it shipped down, so that the coach doesn't have to go to Chicago.
What's the warranty on these coaches?
When new, if you were the first original owner, it has a lifetime workmanship warranty.
Now that's cabinetry.
That's anything that Liberty built with their own two little hands.
Okay.
Okay. Then the chassis is 2 years unlimited. The engine is a certain mileage and 5 years. I think on this particular chassis it's 305 years, or 5 years, whichever comes first. The transmission is 2 years unlimited. The generator is 2 years unlimited.
So really the first 2 years, there shouldn't be any expense. But
no.
Let's say that, okay, I'm 18 months into it and there's a problem, and the problem's affecting livability or drivability or something. How long does it take to get in for service if I buy from Liberty?
Depending on the time of year. Sometimes it can be up to 2 months.
Okay.
unless it's an emergency.
Okay.
You've got air conditioners that's not working, a generator that's not working, even the plumbing system, if something's wrong with that, we deem that as a emergency.
Okay, would they have to bring the coach to you, or would I have to bring the coach to you,
or have to bring it to us.
Do you have remote service?
Do not have remote service.
Okay, so just you want to make sure
right.
we're getting there. Now,
a lot of times, but let me reiterate, a lot of times if you're in an area, we might know somebody in that area that we could send out there and talk them through the repair.
Would that be covered by the warranty? Would you reimburse them, or would the
in a new coach, yes.
Okay, and that's, so you said, I believe, for the first 3 years?
No.
2 years?
No.
1 year?
Depending on what it is. See,
Okay.
all the appliances in this coach has a manufacturer's warranty. The Liberty warranty is 1 year.
Okay.
Lifetime on workmanship, and then the chassis, engine, transmission, generator are all manufacturer's warranties.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out the out of cost. Again, when things break, they never break at a convenient time. It doesn't happen in my house, and it doesn't happen in my car. It'd be nice if my car only broke down in my driveway, but it does. I'm somewhere. So if the same thing happened in a coach, I know with my car that, I call. They'll tow it in, they'll bring it in.
Correct.
With a coach, that's a lot more complicated. So, for rookies, I know the people out there, you're Prevost owners, you purchase from Liberty, you know the drill. I don't. So, when I look at the cost of ownership or the pleasure of getting things serviced quickly, is it one call to you, or if it's out of warranty, you're going to say you need to call other companies to get this service?
I'm going to have to call other companies and try to get them to go fix your coach.
He might have a paying customer on the phone.
No.
Okay. No. If it was, we would have taken it.
It was Hillary.
Now, okay, let's go back to something that we spent some time talking about earlier today. I went through and I explained to him what I'm attempting to accomplish over the next few weeks. And going around, and I have the different driving lessons set up. What's your thought on that type of plan? If somebody's trying to learn how to drive before.
I think the plan is good. I've been in this business over 35 years, and I don't ever recall a time where someone had an accident because they didn't know how to drive. It's a learning experience. I think you could actually get in this bus and we could head to the I-95, and within 100 miles you'd feel completely comfortable driving. And that's just from your experience of driving, a long time. We're asked many times if we can give driving lessons. I shy away from it completely, because if I happen to show someone or teach someone how to drive, and they go out and smash it up, and the highway patrolman says, well, how long you been driving this? And he said, well, about 30 minutes, but I had driving lessons. Dave taught me how to drive. Was Dave licensed? No, I'm not a licensed driving school, so we avoid that completely.
Well, what do you do? And let's say someone like me came in and said, okay, I've been fascinated by these all my life. I know that you are top tier, if not the top line manufacturer. I want to come and buy them. And let's say, okay, here's my checkbook. But before I drive it, I want to know, can I handle it? How would you handle that situation?
I would take them on a test drive myself. Okay. Unless the coach was theirs, it's pretty risky doing that. We pretty much know who we're talking to before we ever get into negotiations and so forth on actually buying a coach.
And everybody I talk about, they say, if you get a good coach, it's going to be solid on the highway. That's the easy part. The difficult part is the decisions you have to make. When you're going under 40 miles an hour and when you're pulling into parking lots, how would you recommend that a new coach owner learn those skills properly? Proceed
with caution. Don't feel, this is 26 tons of motorhome, and it's not like a car. It's not as agile as a car. It won't turn as sharp as a car, but proceed with caution to the point to where you feel comfortable with going ahead. but the caution overtakes everything in the driving experience.
Okay. Now, when we were going through, and we looked at a few coaches here, and they were just gorgeous. The layouts, the fit and finishes. I don't have a lot of experience looking at them. We're getting that over the next few weeks, hopefully, if not longer.
Right.
But when it comes to licensing, you were mentioning, okay, there's Class A motor homes. This is more of a bus because of the way it's
This is
built.
an actual bus.
Okay, so this is a bus frame before Liberty worked their magic
Correct.
in here. How does licensing work? I know we live in Florida, and licensing here might be different. What happens if you get this in your?
Well,
What do you need?
in a Class A motorhome in Florida, it's a standard driver's license, just like you drive your car with. And I don't remember the classification, A, B, C, or
It's confusing
whatever.
to me too.
Basically, if this bus carried 56 passengers, then it would be a commercial bus. It's listed and classified as a commercial bus. Then you would need a CDL driver's license, just like a truck driver has. But when we put sleeping quarters, galley, salon area, shower, the whole work, it changes from commercial to recreational vehicle, and that eliminates that license.
Is that just in the state of Florida? or
No, I
is that
think
all
that's
through the
pretty
continental
much everywhere.
So I was
There could
I
be
think
scattered
states like Nevada, that if it's registered there, then you need to get a different license.
Well, it's, each state has their own ruling,
But if I live in Florida. If I bought this and I drove through those
which
states,
they would honor.
my regular driver's license.
They
is
would
up.
honor your driver's license.
Okay. It's just information. You read it on the forums. It's just nice to hear it from an expert. Again, we've
Not an expert.
Now, what advice? You've heard my story of what I'm doing now. Any advice on what I should do differently at this point?
Becoming educated is a good thing, because as you look and you figure out different floor plans and different looks inside the coach, I think it makes your buying process easier. We used to have a saying here that determine how much you wanted to spend, the maximum dollar that you wanted to spend, and at that point you go out and get the nicest Liberty coach that you can find for that amount of money.
You know what? Why doesn't that surprise me? That sounds like a great way to do this. Now, let's go and put your information up here. Now, granted, we don't want just people to call you to ask what the weather's like in Florida, but if you have a serious interest, and you know what your price ranges are. Let's say on your pre-owned, what if somebody was looking at a pre-owned Liberty coach, what price range would that be, and for them to want to give you a call to take a serious?
Well, right now, what we have in stock, I have an 04 Liberty XL2 double slide, $499.
$500. I don't like it. $500.
$495.
Yeah. If you buy today. Okay.
And then that goes all the way up to a 14 model at $1,695,000.
So anybody who's shopping for one of the high-end motor coaches from the other brands,
Right.
if you're looking for something like that and you would like to consider a Prevost conversion, a Liberty, and I gotta tell you, the pictures really didn't do this justice. This isn't a commercial. He's not paying me a nickel beer. In fact, I'm valuing
The
this.
flash bulb is what ruins the
How do you want them
pictures.
to contact you?
Just call in on our 800 number, 554-9877.
Okay, we just put that number across the screen for everybody to see here.
Great.
And again, I don't know, say you've been very gracious with your time. Here's how I left with Dave. And as you know from part one, again, if you missed part one, you click right down here, you'll go to it. Then you'll see what I'm up to. Basically, I'm trying to figure out if a motor coach is in my future. And I go into great detail. And what I'm doing next, I'm going out of town, and you're going to see that in part 3. That was supposed to be part 2, but because of our friends at the Palm Beach Jupiter Motorcoach Resort, this is a brand new place. It's going to pop a picture up there on that. And if these are condo lots or real estate that they're only going to have 100 lots. This is going to be a top tier motor coach facility. I went by them. They're friends with you. They said, before you do anything else, since you're going around the country, you're 20, 30 minutes from my home. They said, come on by, see Liberty. Dave was kind enough to take care of us here. Now, remember, if you want to keep posted on my future tours, remember from here, I'm going to 2 different cities to get 2 sets of professional training. The easiest thing to do is to go to facebook.com/thegadgetguru and like us. And you can always subscribe to us right here on YouTube or wherever you're seeing this. You know, if you're seeing it on gadgetguru.com. Leave your comments. We're open to suggestions. Anyway, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
And I, you never know. Maybe I'll be back. I'm not going to make promises I can't keep, but I will tell you that what I've seen here is just absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
That's it for now. I'm the Gadget Guru, Andy Parr.